What up, world? Live on there with MrBeGreatToday, Lamar King Sr. Checking in with you, man. Tonight is going to be the father-son conversation. My dad recently came out here to Texas to kick it with me, and we sat down, had a good talk. We talked about some great things, and I want y'all to check it out and hear this. Just a regular conversation between me and my father. And it just, we're just going into detail on how things, like even in the beginning, how my father was. Who for those who don't know my father, he's an artist. He can draw. He can draw just about anything. And he talks about how he had the opportunity to receive a scholarship to go to the Art Institute back in the '60s. So check this out. It's a great conversation. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. And we'll be right back with you after this. Be great today. Peace.
And it had a dog inside there. He said, "Draw me." So I draw the dog. She sent it off. They sent me all kind of tests in the mail. I aced all of them out. Okay? They sent me some more information in the mail. I aced all it out. Okay? They eventually told me that they would like to have me to attend their school. Okay? So at the time, I'm coming from a family of just a single mother. They gave me a partial scholarship. My mama didn't have the money
Feel the
other side of it.
Yeah.
So they said, well, okay. They came down to pick me up, take me back to the art institution. And they said, well, Mr. Grace, you got 20 till you get 21 to come up with the money. That's fine. But coming up in the 60s, and the way that came to me at the time it came to me, I didn't think nothing about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people say, well, if you want to do that, you would stay on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, which they are right. But like I said, what's meant for you is going to happen. It really wasn't meant for me. I don't think it was meant for me to become an architect, which I didn't, but I became a great person, and I think that's the most important thing that anyone can be. We looking for a lot of things in life, and we want to become a lot of things. But what we fail to realize that the most important thing in life is love for yourself, your family, and just being the person that God put you to be. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Power is something that it's a magic. It's something that's in your mind. You in your mind tell you, like, I can swell up, I can be this big person. But what you got to offer to the game?
Yeah.
What kind of talents you got?
Yeah.
What you got to give the game to get this power? You got to have things that the system going to accept you with and put you in a position to make money. Everybody see people. I remember back in the 80s and 90s, everybody want to be a rapper, a professional basketball player. You know how hard it is to do.
It's still here today.
It's still there. But you know how hard it is to do.
It's harder than going to work every day.
You can't shoot a BB in a hula hoop, but you talking about you want to be down with LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, the greatest value in the world, I don't care what you're doing, be the best at it. If you get a job, just work in a job, be the best at it, and just grow from there. And you'll find a way in life. Life gonna lead you to, you ain't gonna just, see, what the biggest thing we worry about, don't nobody wanna be old and retire. Well, hell, when I get 70 years old, hell, I can't enjoy my money. You know what I'm saying? What I'm gonna do? I wanna be rich at 20. Where I can still be young and just have a good time, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not for everybody. Some people can do that. Chris Brown, shit.
Whoever.
Yeah, a few more. But make a long story short, hey, be who you are and go as far as your talent can take you.
You better because
you don't, you're in trouble. You're fooling yourself.
That's it. Because we live on a mindset that we're gonna live forever. You think about it. I remember times you coming up, me 16, 17 years old, and I'm thinking like, man, Pop don't know what he's talking about. He's just an old man. And we've all been in that situation. We all think we know better than others. And even in this country where they preyed on that emotion, they preyed on it to the point where we at each other's throat. We think about all this, that, and third. Everybody don't have your mindset, Paul. Everybody don't have your tenure. Everybody don't have the decades you put in on this earth and the time and the work and the effort you put in to see it where it is today, where you can be, 70 years young and still out here kicking it with your goddamn, my birthday tomorrow, man, happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday, son.
I already know, man.
Early birthday.
You know what I'm saying? But without you, there would be no me. Without my mother, there would be no me. Like, without my parents, didn't nobody have to tell me to honor my mother and father. You know what I mean? I had to learn it. You know what I mean? Even when they told me, I probably didn't even listen. Most of the time when they tell you, you shouldn't be like that to you. Because when we're young, we young and dumb. We don't know enough. And it take to get to that age. It take time. And just like you're saying, people want it now. They want to be rich at 26. They want instant gratification. And even with all the resources we got now, people still can't seem to get it without going through, shortcomings and pitfalls and mishaps. And you're going to go through them. But it's about being consistent throughout it. It don't even matter.
Yeah. But see, another thing, what happened? I think it took place in the 90s, where Big Daddy, Big Mama, they start dying out.
Yeah.
Them 80s and 90s. We ain't living to get. We living to get 80 and 90s. Yeah.
But how many of us are getting that though?
But how many of us are getting that?
Not too many. They falling off. Now, even your friends, you losing friends at your age.
There you go.
I'm losing friends at my age, and only because we ain't left yet, we can say that. But eventually, guess our day gonna come. But are we gonna be like your mother? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, are we gonna be like my father? Are we gonna be able to get to that silver years, so where you can live life? And because right now you work hard enough to do what you want to do. The only reason why you do things now because you want to do it.
You want to do it, yeah. That's why you got to have infrastructure skills, like brick masonry, painting, barbering, any kind of job that that you can go to
a service, a product or service.
Product service that you can go to a technical school and get you a 6-month certification, a year certification, and you can come out there with that and you can get a job in that field. But see, those are the jobs that pays a lot of money because like the world is always expanding and you're gonna need things toned down, build up, toe down, build up, But we look past those things because as young kids coming up, they didn't have the father figure in their life to instruct those type of things to them. I mean, but the good thing about it is that we still have the chance and the opportunity to just understand one thing, that it's not meant for everybody to be the president of the United States, a person in a big office. I mean, it's all right to have your goals high. You can have your goals sit sky high, but you got to have a reality point in life. You got to be flexible. You got to flex your life out in a reality sense, as well as that high goal that you set for yourself. So you got to take both of them up with you. You got to bring yourself up as a person that gonna work and grow. Bring yourself up as a person that gonna have high goals for myself. And one of them gonna come through, or both of them gonna come through. Well, I know one gonna come through. You keep working, things gonna happen. See, but if you just concentrate on one thing, that leads to a lot of people as failure. But you got two things coming up in your life for like, if you work hard every day, that's not failure. That's grinding. That's making things happen. But say you don't give them a chance to be that person you want to be. And a lot of people can say, well, I failed. And a lot of people go into a depression stage. That's why you got so many depressed people today. Because what they want to be when they first left out of high school, they're not being that person.
Preach.
I mean, just think about it now. Just think about it. You might just don't have the skills to be that person. You might don't have the intelligence to be that person. You know, bring yourself down and lower your standards a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Lower your standards and get your money. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what it's about. Because see, people, you know what, Pop? You say it's funny you say that because more people, they don't want to lower their standards. They want to, they want to uplift their standards, and we should. Like, but within reason.
In reason.
Within reason, you gotta uplift your standard within reason, because from the most humble beginning that we come from, and like I tell people often, you look at your mother, you look at your grandmother, your grandparents, your great grandparents, look at the shit they had to go through versus what we have to go through, and we complaining about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I ain't say complaining in a worse way, but we making an issue about things that, just like I said earlier, nowadays it's no problem to go in the bathroom with a white person. Mm-hmm. You go to the bathroom with a white person, ain't nobody even saying not one word about it. But you come from a time you walked in the white person bathroom, what they gonna do, Pop?
Lock my ass up.
They going to jail. You go beat your ass, whatever. Like, it gonna happen. But now it's gotten bigger to the point we done forgot about the fact we can go to the bathroom together. We can drink out the same water fountain together. You know what I'm saying? We can ride. We can sit beside each other on the bus together, on side of each other on the plane, just like you did. I'm pretty sure it was a white person sitting beside you on the plane.
Yeah. At first, since he was Chicago, I was a young guy, man. He like a fucking goddamn. He was like an agent. I asked him, man, are you Steph Curry's agent? You got your house slick back. You gonna goddamn.
Where you going? You gonna?
Yeah, I mean, he said, hey man, where you from, man? He said, I ain't nobody. What's up? You cool? I said, is you an agent, man? He looks like an agent. He said, I'm just from Chicago, man. He never tell me his business.
Yeah.
I never asked him business. But let me throw a scenario at you. Okay. All right. This is the reality truth. A C student very rarely will become a neurosurgeon. You know what I'm saying?
That right?
All right. But a C student become a successful entrepreneur and become a billionaire with the right ideas and the right movements and with right credibility, right people helping him.
Yeah, right circle
and making the right moves. But see, you have very little room for mistake and be trying to become a neurosurgeon as a C student. 2.0 average in school. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So most people that finish high school with a 2.0 average, a lot of colleges don't even look at it.
They don't want it.
Don't want it.
Unless you LeBron.
See, LeBron had skills on that side.
Exactly. But he was smart too. Don't take nothing wrong. He had it booked because see, just like you and I, Pops, and just like your grandsons, you know what I mean? School came easy to us. Like, and you could, and I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm not just saying that I'm just the most intellectual motherfucker on the planet.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? But Pop, that shit wasn't nothing to me. Like, and I talk about it in the past about how I had to dumb myself down in a lot of situations just to try to so-called fit in and be a part of the in crowd, and then come to find out they were following me, and I'm thinking I'm following them.
That's true. That's definitely true. But it's so much that you can attach to any situation to make it good or bad.
Yeah.
But it all depends on the person and what that person's struggling with, or what kind of person or what kind of problem that person has. Because the average black person, I don't care what kind of family you come from. You come from an educational background. You come from a successful drug dealer background. You come from a professional farmer's background. You know, you just come from a background of professional people or unprofessional people. But my thing is, like, a parent have to know their kid and know how to lead that kid in making them the best person that they can be and what they want to be. Just because you got money, just because you know how to go out and get loans to get your kid into a college, why are you going to force your kid into college they don't want to fucking go?
Yeah.
I mean, send them to a vocational school. The pressure of being into a 1A college or just going to a college period, most kids just fear that. Because they caught hell getting out of high school.
Yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying? They might say, well, I can just do good. I can just, let me bring myself up in Macon Area Tech or one of these technical schools and get that little social degree or whatever. And then, like, later on, I try to get into a bigger school.
Yeah.
See, parents don't, well, you wasting your time. You wasting your time. You know, you can do better. You can do it. You can do it.
Yeah.
If you know your child and you took enough time with that child,
There you go.
you already
know what they can do.
Okay.
You
ain't gonna force it on to. You ain't gonna force it on.
And the flip side of that, Pops, if you got a child like you and I, you know what I mean, and not to say the necessarily path that you and I took, because you and I, me and you we've had personal conversations where
Right.
we know where we probably should have been or could have been, but we were we supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like, as far as the intellect. But just because if you are that student that you were talking about previously, where you are a technical college, college makes you scared, which is not, there's nothing wrong with that. But what if you're the kid that wants to go to college and your parents are entrepreneurs and they're telling you, you're wasting your time, you're going out here getting student loans, you're doing that. I think it flips side as well. You shouldn't be trying to tell a student that wants to go to college to not to go to college and be an entrepreneur, because everybody can't be an entrepreneur. Some people need structure. Some people need somebody to say, hey, you need to do this, now you need to do this, and then you need to do this to get this benefit. Because you know, people who can be a chameleon like you, who can balance the scale, who can go both sides, regardless of the situation. You can put you on Park Avenue, or we can put you on Martin Luther King, and you'll be fine. But then you got some people you can only put on Park Avenue within our community, and they can't function on Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
And vice versa. You got some people who can function on Martin Luther King, and they can't function on Park Avenue. Not to say Park Avenue is better than Martin Luther King, and not to say Martin Luther King is better than Park Avenue. It's the same shit. We're in the same boat. In a sense, it's just about identifying who you are. Like you say, identify who you are as a person. Finding you first.
And my son, I want you to elaborate on this and give me your opinion on a question I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
I don't know the statistics on it, but it's just something that came up in my mind because, like, I think a lot.
But we don't. But see,
I do a lot of inner thinking.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Let's look at that. A big percentage of families that maybe come out the project or just rural homes, just
Shotgun house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just a single parent or just two parents that both of them got mediocre jobs and just make enough money to make ends meet. That had kids that was I would say like 4.0 kids or just average kids but they had good book sense and good potentials. They you know what I'm saying? All right, and then let's go to another family, a family of educators, a family that all the family members that got degrees and they follow behind each other. You know what I'm saying? Okay, the last 20 years, who you think that had more success? Are families that come out of a lower income with nothing, or families that come out of high incomes that had the money to send their kids to school and just had a better life. Who had more successful, like going to college getting degrees, and becoming better people in the world today with good jobs, just being better people. Now you gonna spoil if you got your money and your degrees and all what you got. You gonna spoil your kids with that, you know, and you kind of shortchange them a lot from learning who they really were because you kind of babysit them and you kind of push them out there and you suck the tit a little bit and you put them in a position where they didn't want to be, but they didn't tell you because they respect you. But you got kids that come out the project ain't never had nothing, just been waiting on a chance to grow, and grow. So my question to you is, help me out on this. Who you think that had the biggest success for his kids doing better from a lower background of kids, kids that had the opportunity to just step into a good college and they had decent grades? Okay, you can take a kid. I mean, I read a lot. It's kids that go to school, come from a good parent, smart. They go to college to get on drugs, get pregnant because they were spoiled.
Correct.
They weren't taught. I mean, they didn't see anything in life.
It happens.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't see the things in life that these kids that come from like a rural family, a poor family, that they seen stuff like that every day. And they were used to it, and they said, well, look, I don't want to live like this. So I ain't gonna make these kind of mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm asking you, who you think that had the biggest success for like wanting to stay in college, getting their degrees, come back getting good jobs? Okay, you take the families that come out the project and got the opportunity to go to college and got their degrees and came out and got good jobs and stayed with them jobs and end up, like being whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not that I'm trying to.
I totally get where you're coming from, and it's a great question because it's a conversation that runs in our head. We think about it. We think about when everybody think about it, whether they come from a successful background where people had doctors and lawyers and nurses and they had degrees in their background.
They're afraid to fail.
They was afraid to fail.
Right,
so
right.
so to answer your question, I think it's a wash, and I say all that to say this as the fact that you come from humble backgrounds and you make it through and you see the people who had everything and they fall the wayside. So it's a little bit of, and I don't want to use the word gratification, but it's a little bit like you and I. They expected us to be on dope. They expected us to be locked up in prison. They expected us to be in the graveyard.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we're here. We're talking right now on live with MrBeGreatToday. So we defied the odds. So we feel good about what we've accomplished based on the circumstances where we come from.
That's true.
All right. So flip side, the people who come from educational background, who go to Ivy League schools, who have everything, who carry their lunch to school. And not to say everybody who carried their lunch had everything together, but
right.
You and I never carried our lunch to school.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I never had the luxury.
I was in the free lunch line.
free lunch.
Where were you?
Free lunch. Give me the free lunch. I got a ticket.
Give me a milk
exactly.
To
the point where and let me tell you the flip side of all that. I don't want to get off subject. Where the people who paid for lunch wish they had free lunch, and the people who had free lunch wish they were paying for lunch.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It's like a flip side. So even on the people who had the education, who had the background, who had the tenure, who had the mother and father right there supporting them, giving them everything they want, who didn't get their ass beat like we did and we fucked up. You know what I'm saying? They experienced mishaps later on in life, and because they never had to go through a water jug in the refrigerator and that's it, they never had to go through, wearing the same clothes, probably let alone the same week, the same month. You know what I mean? I might have to wear the same clothes the same week. And they see that as a lower point in them, because in their children and their grandchildren, or later on in life when they experience those situations, now it's the end of the world. When people who have humble beginnings experience those situations later on in life, it's just another walk in the park. And not to say everybody handle it with grace, but when you've never experienced things and you never had everybody's done things for you, everybody's handled all the situations, you're a little bit handicapped. Versus when you had to deal with situations and you had to learn how to survive. You know what I mean? When you couldn't run home and tell your mama that, you know, the bully up the street whooping your ass. If you came home in there and you told your mom the bully whooping your ass, they're gonna be like, you better go back out there and fight. But you better go back and fight. And so, but a lot of times on the flip side, they'll go, you know, whatever, call the cops, put, you know, press charges, all that. You know, they got somebody fighting their battles for them. And I think it's a balance because they get the education up front, but they don't get the common sense. So you got to have a mixture of common sense and book sense.
There you go.
You see what I'm saying? And and a lot of times, highly educated people have no common sense, and people with high common sense have no book sense. You see what I'm saying? So you got to have a mixture. You got to have a mixture of both. And I think in the end, it's a wash. There's nobody who's more successful because the people who have book sense and have the tenure and have the you know, all the backing and have the support, they take things just like preacher kids. You already know the PCs. Sometimes they end up being some of the worst kids in life as far as society standards, which I'm not basing it off that, but what I'm saying is they go through troubles later in life than you already been through. Am I lying? The preacher kid, they because get what? They've been given everything, silver spoon. But got pops here, got my pops here, Mr. White Bread, Mr. Larry Ed Gray Sr., old cat.
Yeah, I'm an old man.
He just dropped in on me, dropped out the sky. He here with me, man. I'm excited, and we're gonna pay a few bills. We're gonna tap out of here, and we'll be right back, man. In 30 seconds. Be great today. Peace. 405 Sparta Highway in Millersville. Be the Head Barbecue. The best barbecue in the whole Southeast, baby. There's no event too big, too small. They got you. They got rental tables. They got grills. They got chairs. They got tents. They got the best ribs in the whole South. You feel me? They got that one flip chicken, you know what I mean? The sides, them butter beans, them baked beans, them collard greens, them cabbages, that dressing. Oh my God. Go check my boy out at 405 Sparta Highway. Call him up, 478-251-5300. Be great today. Peace.